Hello everyone. Today we are going to start electromagnetic theory. So in this unit we have to study about continuity equation for current density, then displacement current, modifying equation for the curl of magnetic field to satisfy continuity equation, and we have to also study the Maxwell equations both in vacuum and non-conducting medium. We will also discuss energy of an electromagnetic field, then Poynting vector and Poynting theorem. We will also discuss how the electromagnetic wave propagate in vacuum and its transverse nature. We have to also study relation between electric fields and magnetic fields of electromagnetic wave. We will also discuss energy and momentum carried by electromagnetic wave, and we have to also discuss resultant pressure and skin depth. So before we start, we should have some elementary idea of vector calculus and coordinate systems. So this is basically the revision of the course that you have already read in intermediate. So first we will start vector analysis. You know that for in any vector quantity it must have some direction and magnitude. So if there is a vector, then it is represented by uh, its magnitude a and its direction. So vector is you are already familiar with this notation. So you know that if there is a vector a in this direction, then minus a vector can be denoted as like this. Next we discuss addition and multiplication of vectors. So you have already read this, but I am just repeating. Addition and multiplication. So first I will discuss addition. Addition of vectors. You know that if there are two vectors, a vector and b vector, then they follow the rule a vector plus b vector is equal to b vector plus a vector. Therefore, you can say that vector addition is commutative. So vector addition is commutative. Now other important property in addition is if there are three vectors a vector, b vector and c vector, then it can be written as some addition can be written as a vector plus b vector plus c vector is equal to a vector plus b plus b vector plus c vector. So you can say here that addition is associative. So if you want to subtract two vectors a and b, you can write like this: a vector minus b vector is defined as a vector plus, it is also a kind of summation but with the direction inversed. So this is subtraction. Similarly, we can multiply a vector with any scalar. So multiplication by a scalar. So suppose if a is some scalar quantity, okay, scalar quantity, and a plus a and b are vectors, then you can write a is equal to a vector plus b vector. Means if you multiply a scalar with the addition of two vectors, you can write it like a vector plus b sorry, this is AB vector. Similarly, if you can multiply A to A vector, and so if you multiply A vector into A vector, so the final vector has the same direction but the magnitude will be changed. So from this relation you can say that scalar multiplication is distributive. So vector can also be multiplied by a scalar, and we can also multiply the two vectors. So if you multiply two vectors, you can do it by two way. One is the dot product and other is the cross product. So let's first discuss dot product of two vectors. Dot product of if A vector A and B are two vectors, then their dot product is defined as A vector dot B vector is equal to A mod of A mod of B, okay, magnitude of A magnitude of B into cos theta, where theta is the angle between A and B vectors. So if A vector is in this direction and B vector is in this direction, then the angle between them is theta. Okay, so dot product is defined as A vector dot B vector is equal to magnitude of A multiplied by magnitude of B multiplied by the cos of the angle between these two vectors. Clear? So you can note that dot product, that is A dot B, is a scalar quantity. You know, that is the magnitude, that is the one, and it gives some scalar quantity. Hence, it is also called. So this dot product is also called scalar product. So you can call it also a scalar product of vectors. Scalar product of vectors. Why? Because when you are multiplying two, when you are taking dot products of two vectors, it is giving a scalar quantity. So this type of multiplication of vectors is known as dot product or scalar product of vectors. So this dot product have some properties. For example, A vector dot V vector can also be written as B vector dot A vector, because they give the same result, and therefore you can say that dot product is commutative. So you can say that dot product is commutative. Similarly, it is distributive also. Suppose there are three vectors, A vector dot B, distribution over addition of vectors. Okay, so this is also distributive. If you are taking the dot product of one vector with the addition of two vectors, then you will get A vector dot B vector, okay, plus A vector dot C vector. So you can say here it is distributive. So from the definition of the dot product, so A vector dot B vector, suppose if there is a condition that A vector is parallel to B vector, so in that condition theta will be 0. Angle between these two vectors, they are parallel, so angle between these two vectors will be 0. So their dot product can be written as like vector and B, sorry, without vector notation, that is just multiplication, because cos 0 is equal to 1. If this was the case when these vectors were parallel, when they were parallel, suppose this is A vector and this is B vector. Okay, when they were parallel, you have written A vector dot B vector is equal to mod of A mod of B. Okay, but what if one vector is, both these vectors are perpendicular to each other? In this condition, a vector dot b vector will give you mod of a mod of b cos theta is 90, so you will get 0. So if the vectors are perpendicular to each other, then their dot product is 0. So from here you can also find out that if there are two parallel vectors, so they may have the same magnitude. Of suppose there are two parallel vectors, they have the same magnitude. Same magnitude means you can write it as self product of a with a vector dot a vector. So it will give you a square. Okay, just the multiplication of their magnitude. So these are the properties of scalar product, in which we have noted that if two vectors are parallel, they can be written like this. If two vectors are perpendicular, their dot product or scalar product will be 0. If you take the dot product of same, then it will be just equal to the square of that. And we have also noted that the scalar product is commutative and scalar product is distributive. Now let's do one problem on scalar product. Let c vector is equal to a vector minus b vector. So this is a vector and b vector, so your c vector will be is like this. Okay, and calculate the dot product of c with itself. So how will you solve it? Let's do it. So you have to take the dot product. So c vector dot c vector, so you can write here equally a vector and minus b vector dot a vector minus minus v vector. So since dot product is distributive, you can write it a vector dot a vector minus a vector dot b vector minus v vector dot a vector minus b vector dot a vector. Okay, so you have just seen that a vector dot a vector can be written as a square. Similarly, minus a dot b will be equal to b dot a, so you can write it to a vector dot b vector. Okay, sorry, this is b dot b and it will be a positive. Okay, so you can write it b square, b dot b is equal to b square. I am just using the properties of scalar product, and you know, if theta is the angle between them, then this can be written as a square plus b square. So this term can be written as 2ab cos theta. Okay, so this relation c square, okay, this is called c square is equal to, because c dot c is, as you have written, a dot a is equal to a square, so this is also called law of cosines. This is law of cosines. Okay, now so far we have discussed dot product of two vectors. Now we'll discuss cross product of two vectors. Cross product of two vectors. So let me repeat again. Cross product of two vectors a and b is denoted by this, like a cross. So cross product is defined as a b means their magnitude into angle between them, and there is n cap. N cap is the unit vector. So if there are two vectors, that is suppose a vector, okay, and suppose this is b vector, then there will be some angle between them. Okay, there will be some angle between them, and this angle is theta. Okay, So the cross product is defined as this relation. Okay, A cross B is equal to mod of A mod of B multiplied by sine of the angle between them. And then please notice here that a dot cross product is a vector quantity like scalar product. Like dot product, unlike dot product, it is a vector quantity. So now here is a n cap is unit vector. Okay, n cap is unit vector, and its direction is perpendicular to the plane AB. Suppose if A and B are the plane, then its direction is perpendicular to this, like this. Okay, so like suppose this is x axis, this is y axis, xy, then it will be along z axis. Suppose A vector is directed towards x axis and B is directed towards y axis, then it will be n cap will be directed towards z axis. So what I want to say here is n cap is always perpendicular to the plane of A vector and V vector. So suppose there are two unit vectors x cap, there are two vectors x cap and y cap. So if you multiply x cap cross y cap, when you take the cross product of two vectors, means suppose x cap is the unit vector along the vector A and y cap is the unit vector along the vector B, then their cross product will be given by xy is equal to z cap. You might be thinking that what is there will be two. Suppose this is the xy plane. Okay, this is xy plane. So x vector is in this direction, y in this direction. So jo n cap, the direction of the cross product will be perpendicular to this plane. Okay, so there is two possibility. Na? One is positive z cap and the other is negative z cap. So which should be n cap? So this can be resolved by using the right hand rule. So in vector algebra we use the right hand rule to find out the direction of n cap. So if x is in this direction, okay, so if x is in this direction, we take the what I want to say, if x is in this direction, we will multiply it with y cap x cross, you take the x cross y cap, then it must be, so using the right hand rule it should be minus z cap, but I have then done a mistake here, because usually when we do the right hand rule, so this is denoted by x cap, if this is y cap, then z plus z cap direction will be this and this will be minus z cap. So in coordinate system generally we denote like this make this as x axis, the y axis, and this is z axis. So when we take the cross product of x cap with y cap, it gives always positive z. So this relation is wrong, you write it according to right hand rule, x cap cross y cap is equal to z cap. Okay, but if you take the cross product y cap cross x cap, it will give minus z cap. So there should not be any confusion in the direction of n cap. So n cap is basically the unit vector perpendicular to the plane of A and B vector. Okay, and this direction is given by the right hand rule. So now let's discuss some more properties of the cross product. So again, like the scalar product, cross product is also distributive. So cross product is distributive. What I mean, if there are three vectors, A vector cross B vector plus C vector, you can write it like A vector cross B vector. It can be distributed over addition. Okay, A vector cross C vector, but it is distributive, but it is not commutative. What does I mean? As we have shown here, that A vector cross B vector is never commutate. Okay, means B vector cross A vector is never possible. Okay, what does it mean? It will be change in direction. A cross B vector should be equal to minus V vector cross A vector. Okay, so dot cross product is not commutative. Again, uh, if you multiply a vector, if you take two parallel vectors, suppose a vector to a vector, so if there will be two parallel vectors, then the angle between them will be 0. So according to the definition of cross product, it will give you the 0. So you can say if two vectors are parallel, their cross product is 0. So far we have discussed the vector product, their dot product of vectors, cross product of vectors, their additions and multiplications without taking the reference of any coordinate axis. But in practice it becomes very easier if we take the reference of a coordinate system. So let's assume that x cap, y cap and z cap are the unit vectors parallel to x axis, y axis and z axis respectively. So any arbitrary vector, suppose there is any arbitrary vector A can be expanded in terms of these basis unit vectors. So you can expand it like this, you can take the projection, okay. So you can take the projection means you can take its magnitude, here ax, this will be ax, this will be your ay and this much height will be your az. So you can write any vectors, okay. A is equal to as the resolve component in x and y z axis, and you can write yx. So you can write any vectors in terms of unit vectors x cap, y cap and z cap. Here ax, ay and az are the components of a along x axis, along y axis and along z axis. So from this picture you can see that these ax, ay, az are the projections of a vector along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Therefore, they can be defined as, this ax can be defined as a dot x cap. So when you take the projection of a vector along x-axis, you must multiply a vector with the unit vector of that direction, and this will give you the projection ax. Similarly, you can write ay is equal to a dot y cap, and you can write az is equal to, this is a vector dot z cap. Okay, now it should be clear to you what are the resolve components of any vector along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So you can write any vectors in this form, as we have written a vector as ax x cap, ay y cap, az z cap. Similarly, you can write another vector with its component along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis as bx. Bx is the component of this b vector. Yeah, you can say that bx is the projection of b vector along x-axis, by is the projection of b vector along y-axis, and bz is the projection of b vector along z-axis. Therefore, if you want to add these two vectors, you can add their components, their respective components along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Okay, so a vector plus v vector can be written as, how? Because you just write it like this. So you can write it ax plus vx x cap ay plus by into y cap plus az plus bz into z cap. So this was the first rule. Suppose this is the, you can write any, add two vectors by just adding their respective components along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Similarly, second, you can multiply a scalar quantity with this vector. So how will you do? You have to do just write the a vector in component form, that is x cap, sorry, plus, let me write it again to avoid any confusion, ax cap, ay y cap plus az z cap. Okay, so you can write it as ax x cap, ay y cap, az z cap. So when you multiply a scalar product, okay, a scalar quantity with this vector, you just multiply this scalar quantity with all its result component. So we can see here that if there are two vectors a and b, so just to add the vectors you need to add like components, means the ax and bx are similar components and ay by are similar components, az and bz are similar components as they are along the same unit vector. So you just add the like components, but if you want a scalar you need to multiply this scalar with all the components. Now let's see how you do the dot product. So let's a vector dot v vector, as we have already discussed, we can write it ax x cap, ay y cap, az z cap dot vx x cap, by y cap, bz z cap. So when you take the dot product, you will get, as you know, that x cap dot x cap will be equal to 1, okay, but and it is also equal to y cap dot y cap. This is because of the property of the unit vector, because the magnitude is 1 and direction is 0, so cos 0 is equal to 1. So z back cap dot z cap. But if you take the dot product x cap along the perpendicular vector, so you will get 0 and it will be equal to y vector dot z vector and z vector dot x vector, okay. So the dot product of perpendicular component will be 0. So using this relation you will get a vector dot b vector as equal to ax, because where x dot x is involved, only that term will remain and rest will be 0. So you will get finally ax similar component, multiplication of similar components. So you can write ax bx, ay by and az. You can do yourself. Yeah? So you can say that to calculate the dot product, you just multiply like components, and add and all these like components. Okay, these are the product of like component, these are the product of like components, these are the product of like component, and at last you have to add all these products. Clear? So if you take the dot product, you will get this type of relation. Now what will happen if you multiply a vector with a vector? So if you multiply a vector with a vector, then from this, using this relation, you can write ax square plus ay square plus az square. So magnitude of a vector, this is vector, can be written as square root of ax ka square, ay ka square, az ka square. So in general you can say that if you want to take the magnitude of any vector, you have to take the square root of uh, square root of this term, that is the square of their take the square of their components along x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, then you have to add and then finally take the square root. Similarly, you can show that x vector cross x cap cross x cap can be, because their angle between these unit vectors are 0, so z cap cross z cap will be 0 and x cap cross y cap is equal to minus y cap cross x cap, and it will be equal to z cap. Similarly, we can write y cap cross z cap is equal to minus z cap cross y cap, and it is equal to x cap. Similarly, you can write z cap cross x cap is equal to minus x cap cross z cap is equal to y cap. Okay, so you can use these relations for your calculations wherever required. So in general, how the cross product is defined? Okay, a vector cross b vector in component form. So in component form, you can write ax x cap, ay y cap, az z cap into bx x cap, by y, just writing the components, and at last we will take the cross product. Okay, so if we take the cross product, you know that you will get this relation ay bz minus az by. Okay, and it is along x cap. Similarly, for y cap, you can write az bx minus ax bz y cap plus ax by minus ay bx equal to z cap. So this is a very cumbersome expression, so you can write it in a more simpler form. So a vector cross b vector, if you know the component, you can write it in a determinant form, x cap, y cap, z cap. Just write the components of ax, ay, and component of a, that is ax, ay, az, and bx, by, bz. Ax, y, z are components of a vector, and bx, by, bz are the components of b vector. So this is very simple way you can write the cross product of two vectors in component form. Now since we have seen here that cross product of two vectors is itself a vector, so it can be dotted or crossed with a third vector to form the triple vector. So you can take the dot product of the multiple two cross products. Okay, cross product of two vectors, and it will be can be written as b vector, follow the rule, dot c vector cross a vector is equal to, we have done these exercises in intermediate, but I am just writing the relation. Okay, so this cross product can also be written in component form as a vector dot v vector cross c vector is equal to ax, ay, az. In determinant form, I am writing their cross product bx, by, bz. Okay, and cx, cy, cz. So this is called scalar triple product. Scalar triple product. Since you are taking the cross product of two vectors, that is itself a vector, and when you take the dot product with any vector, it gives a scalar quantity. So this type of triple product is called an scalar product. So you have also know that the this dot can also be interchanged with cross. So A dot B cross C, okay, can be written as A vector cross B vector dot C vector. So this was the scalar triple product, as it gives the scalar quantity at the end, but you can also make a vector quantity by just taking the cross multiplication. Okay, so the vector triple product can be simplified by back cab rule, BAC CAB rule. If A vector cross B vector cross C vector, or if you have this type of multiplication product, so you can write it as across B cross C can be written as B vector into bracket A vector dot C vector minus C A dot B vector. So you can write like this. Suppose there is some point P in space, so the location of this point in 3 dimension can be described by listing its Cartesian coordinates x, y, z. So this is its location according to the Cartesian coordinates. So its position vector is actually the vector drawn from the origin to this point P. So this is the position vector and it can be denoted as r vector. So r vector can be written as x, x cap, y cap, z cap. So x, y and z are the result components of this position vector along x axis, y axis and z axis. Yeah, simply you can say that x is the projection of r vector along x axis, y is the projection of r vector along y axis and z is the projection of r vector along z axis. So if you list its coordinates at some point, then you can write its position vector in terms of the unit vector x cap, y cap and z cap. So as we have already discussed, its magnitude can be written as magnitude of the position vector. So you should have no doubt what is position vector. So position vector is the vector that origin, that if you draw a vector from origin to a point in space, then this vector is called position vector. Okay, see there is some point P, then the vector from origin to this point is called its position vector. So position vector R of P can be given as by this equation, where x cap, y cap and z cap are unit vectors of x axis, y axis and z axis. So magnitude of position vector can be given as, okay. So since this is a vector quantity, it will be also have direction. This is the magnitude, so you can write r vector as r cap. R cap is the unit vector. Let me write in this way. R vector is can be written as magnitude of r into r cap. Okay, so r cap is defined as r vector divided by magnitude of r. Okay, so you can define r cap is equal to x, x cap, y cap, z cap divided by x square plus y square plus z square. So we frequently use electromagnetry. That's why I am discussing what are the unit vectors, what are the position vectors. So we have to use all these relations in further discussions. So clearly this is r cap. So r cap, direction of r cap is radially outward. So direction of r cap is in this direction. Similarly, suppose this is the position r vector, so there may be another point in small displacement along this, that may be dr vector. Okay, so dr, so a small increment dr can be written as dx x cap, dy y cap, dz z cap. So this is called infinitesimal displacement vector. Infinitesimal displacement vector. So this dr are also even denoted as dl is a vector quantity and it is called infinitesimal displacement vector, and this is equivalent to a small change in along x-axis plus with a small change along y-axis and with a small change along z-axis. So this is how the infinitesimal displacement vector is defined. This is very similar. Suppose you are only talking about x-axis, so you write your position x, then you change your position very small bit, then you just write its next position as x plus dx. Similarly, if this is position vector, some position vector, then a small change in this vector can be written as r vector plus dr vector, like this. So this dr is equivalent to this. Now let's discuss separation vectors. Suppose let's draw first coordinate axis, okay, x, y and z. If there are something, this is your r dash vector and this is some point, suppose this is p and this is q and this is your r vector, okay. So their separation between them, this is this direction, this is this direction, so their separation between r dash and r vector can be written as, suppose denoted by this symbol, r vector will be equal to r minus r dash. These all are vector quantities. So this is called your separation vector. So magnitude of this can be given as r minus, sorry, r minus r vector r dash, sorry, r vector minus r dash vector, okay, and you take its magnitude. So this is how defined as separation vectors. So if in general, so if r vector is x x cap, y y cap and z z cap, and r dash vector is defined as x dash x cap, y dash y cap, z dash z cap, then their difference r can be written as x minus x dash x cap, y minus y dash y cap plus z minus z dash z cap. Clear? So this is your separation vector. Similarly, we can find out a unit vector r cap as r vector. Okay, this is r vector divided by mod of r vector. And this will be equal to, let me write here, r cap will be equal to x minus x dash x cap, y minus y dash y cap plus z minus z dash z cap divided by the square root of their differences, minus x dash ka square plus y minus y dash ka square plus z minus z dash ka square. Okay, so I think there should not be any confusion. So this is how we define position vectors, separation vectors.